Good morning, Mon Petit, and happy Sunday morning. You know what I'm like? I am literally a child when it comes to new in pieces, so of course I'm wearing my new Daughters of India dress I unboxed with you yesterday. I am obsessed with this dress, especially because of the weather today. I feel like this is just the perfect dress for a day like today. It's warm, it's sunny, it's like a little bit still in the air, and it's just like the most beautiful floaty lightweight dress to pair with today. I've got myself my morning iced coffee, and I'm currently sitting in what can only be described as the kind of secret project here in the house. It's not really much of a secret project, but it is a room that I know I've only given you the sneakiest little peek of, because we have really neglected this room. I'm not going to lie to you, it's something I've been wanting to do for so long, and I've been promising myself throughout everyday May, like, we're gonna get round to this room, we're gonna get round to this room, and we just never do. We just never do. I don't know what it is, but I just keep putting it off. I keep not wanting to organize it. I keep not wanting to think about it. And it just gets to a point where I'm like, okay, we need to just rip the bandage off and we need to crack on with this room. So Alex is actually at the gym this morning, and he offered for me to come with him, but I thought, you know what, that would be the perfect opportunity, because I don't know about you, but I need to give myself like a time frame. Like, I need to give myself a deadline to do things, otherwise they just don't get done. And I was like, you know what, he's gonna be at the gym for 2 hours. That gives us a good 2 hours to organize and sort and clear through this room, because my goodness me, does it need it. It really does need a bit of a sort out and a bit of an organize, because it is a room that has just become a room of doom, to be completely honest with you. I think because we don't like need this room as much, it's become such a dumping room. In fact, I remember when we first moved into our old house, Alex's office, which wasn't his office at the time, but we rearranged the house and it used to be the snug, and that became such a dumping room. And I feel like when you move house, it's such an easy thing to do, when you kind of like do the bulk of the unpacking, the bulk of the organizing, and like you get most things sorted, and then you kind of just neglect one room and think, oh, we'll sort that another time. You run out of steam. You completely lose energy with regards to like unpacking and sorting and organizing, and that room just becomes completely forgotten about. And that is exactly what has happened with this room. But this is actually such an adorable little room. It's the smallest room in the house, and I would quite like this to become my office. It's gonna be my office slash a bit of a storage room in itself, because we do have, as you can see behind me, amazing built-in storage in this room, which is just so lovely. And it is painted in the most gorgeous little sage green color. This is actually the only room we didn't actually touch when we moved in. We painted the entire house when we moved in. All the skirting's done, the ceilings, the walls, and obviously we recarpeted and stuff. And this is one of the few rooms where as soon as we walked into it, we were like, you know what, this is actually really nice. Let's just leave this as is. And then it also meant that it was quite handy to have this as like a dumping room when the movers were here, when the decorators were here. Like, we could just kind of like shove things in here and just like forget about them, and then we weren't worried about like scuffing up walls that were just like had literally just been painted. We could just kind of let this room be, and it's been nice to actually like have this as a bit of a relief, so that the rest of the house can feel like a finished house. It can feel like a really lovely place to live, and then just shove things in here. But I'm really happy with like the pink color. I love the style of this room. I just think it's like such a really sweet little office space. So I really want this to become my kind of new workspace. I want this to become a bit more of a, what I would like to describe as a Nancy Meyers office. I feel like that's the vibe I want to go for in here, because it is just such a lovely, like, calming space to be. And I'm thinking that we can really tie in those sage greens, and especially after unboxing the beautiful flowers from Unique Florist Decor, I am so obsessed with that kind of like pairing of blue with green. And I would never normally do that, but I think sage green goes so well with those kind of like lighter toned blues and whites. I think they could look so beautiful together, and that's like such a Nancy Meyers kind of color scheme. So it's gonna be a very calming room to be in, but at the same time I think this will make such a lovely office for myself, because obviously I've got my filming space and my dressing room, but I don't ever really find myself sitting in there to like work. I'll usually actually join Alex in his office with him, and I'll just sit in there and work with him. But it's quite nice for me to have like my own space for when I'm like taking calls, when I'm on, you know, like meetings and things like that. Because the amount of times I'll be sitting with Alex and I'm like, oh sorry, I've just got to jump on a call, and I've then just kind of got to go and sit in my office, and I'm either at my makeup desk, which doesn't really feel much of like an office desk, it's very much like a vanity, a get ready space, or I end up just kind of sitting in my chair, and I'm like, this is just not really the vibe that I was going for with this kind of like setup, and like I don't feel like I'm most productive, and I just feel like I can make this such a lovely space to be in. So this is going to be a little bit of of a project that I'm really, really excited to work on. It's probably going to be a bit of a slow moving project because I really want to be considered with this room, and I want to take my time with the purchases. Like, I don't want to just like buy a desk just because I've seen it something like on IKEA and like that would just do and fill the space. Like, I really want it to be the right thing that's going to go in here. So I'm really excited to kind of get going with this room. So let me show you it, because I'm not gonna lie, this is something you wouldn't normally see. This is something I would not normally show you, but because we're doing Everyday May, and because it's me and you, I feel like you don't judge. You know, like, we're having such a chilled out day today. It's a glasses kind of a day. It's a hair up in a ponytail, which I couldn't even tell you the last time I did my hair in a pony, but I was like, you know what, I'm just feeling a little ponytail today. So we're doing a hair in a pony, minimal makeup, minimal jewellery. I actually, do you know what, I did add a necklace to this dress, but I felt like it kind of, I quite liked it just being like quite boho and chic and loose. So I took the necklace off and I was like, I'm just gonna go bare neckline, although it really is making me think I need to add another layer of my tan locks. But yeah, all I'm gonna say is that it's me and you. Don't judge me, because this room looks horrendous, and I know it's horrendous, but let me show you the current state of the room of doom. So, as you would have already seen before, when you first walk into this room, you are greeted with these gorgeous sage green fitted wardrobes. They're floor to ceiling wardrobes, and they provide so much storage. In fact, this is where we're currently storing Alex's clothes. It's why we're not actually in the biggest rush in the world to organize our built-in wardrobes in our bedroom, because we really want to get those right. We want to make sure that we're going for like the right individual to get them installed, and we're going for the right material and things like that. And obviously that's going to be a little bit spenny, so we want to get it right. We don't want to rush anything, and so for the time being, like, this works. This just is absolutely fine. So Alex is currently storing all of his clothes in here. In fact, I say all of his clothes, he hasn't still unpacked all of his clothes from when we moved. We need to get his summer stuff out of storage actually, but then this is where it gets a little bit embarrassing and a little bit messy. So the storage actually goes all along this wall, which is what I really, really like about it. Like, it's a really, really big unit. You've got some shelves here, you've got the wardrobe here, you've got storage down there, and you've also got storage up there. And then we also have a little shelving unit here, which, as you can see, I have completely covered in crap. Like, literally, when we unpacked from moving, all of this stuff just got shoved in here, and I've not thought about it since. But this is currently housing Spare Beauty. This is currently housing bags, hats, summer hats. I don't even know what's in that, I'm not gonna lie to you. I think that's a fan in there. That's my new tripod gimbal, my Champney spa stuff, and then as you move around it just gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. But one thing I love about this room as well, which is also why I feel like this will be such a lovely office for me, because it's very similar in style to my dressing room, especially with these gorgeous fitted shutters. I absolutely love these. I feel like fitted shutters just elevate a room so much. So we're actually in the eaves here in this room, so as you can see, it kind of like the ceiling slopes down, so I think this is just such a lovely little office because it's quite cozy. And even though you've got the eaves coming down, it's like a very tall ceiling, which I'm so grateful for, so it doesn't feel like it's a small space to be in. But this is currently what it's looking like over here. It has just become a dumping ground, like a literal dumping ground. In fact, I can't even tell you half the stuff that's in here. These boxes, actually, they need to get going. I need to put them in the car because we need to say goodbye to them, because they used to be our Christmas storage boxes. We used to keep them in the shed outside in our old house because we didn't really have access to our loft, whereas now we've obviously got the loft. We've got so much extra storage in this house. But fun fact, these did not fit through the loft hatch, so I ended up having to order new boxes. So kind of like, we used to have 2 Christmas boxes from here full of stuff. I now have 3 Christmas boxes, like slightly smaller storage size, so they can actually fit through the eave. So I'm giving these boxes to, I think my sister and my mum are taking them off my hands because they have some like spaces that they can use them for. So they need to go. The suitcase needs to go back upstairs in the eaves because I loaned that to someone because they went on holiday recently and they needed like a really big suitcase. This is my aunt, the one, and it's the biggest thing in the world. It's so handy. I then have my box of shoes, which I just don't really know how else to organise my shoes at the moment, but this is not the best organisation because I do find my shoes are getting ruined a little bit. Like, I'm just not happy with it, like especially if I look at things like my espadrilles, they start getting like a bit bent and a bit out of shape. So I do need to organise my shoe storage at some point, but I'm just so unsure with what to do. We've also got our new little flip-flops that we got from the Champney spa stay, which is so cute. So we've just got shoe storage in there, which is just completely random. I've got some random bags, which I think we just used these when we moved in, these like big storage bags. And then back there it's even worse. So because we're in the eaves, the storage storage goes like really far back, which is super handy. I might look at getting some doors to put over this just so that it's not so like open with regards to the space, then we can really use this as a bit more of a storage space. But we've got my Katie Loxton bag, which this is what I was talking about when I said that it was battered about when we went away because I just don't have good storage. This is currently where it's living. It's just been shoved back there. And this is actually the rest of Alex's clothes. These are the bags he has not unboxed yet, or not unpacked since the move. So we need to get organising with those because we need to get summer stuff out because he's not been wearing any of his nice like linens or any of his lovely like shirts and things like that. So we need to get them out, give them a good old wash, a good old like steam and iron and things like that so that he can actually start wearing. We also have some old blinds, which these need to go back up in Alex's office. We took them down when we did the painting. We've just not put them back up again. We've got some spare, no idea what's down there, some spare flooring I think potentially, and yeah. That is the current state of it. We've also, I've then just popped a little mirror over here, which has been quite handy actually for when Alex is getting ready. It's just like a little get ready mirror for him, just so that he can quickly check his outfit in the morning. And that's kind of the whole room. Like it's very much a teeny tiny little room, but like it could just be such a lovely office space for me. Like just a really, really lovely space to come and be. I'll be close by to Alex because his office is right next door. But it just means I can come in here and take calls, like do meetings, things like that. If I want to be like really productive and do, I don't know, my edits, like I do my like to know it edits a lot. I do a lot on my laptop and I just don't really have a space to like be and do that at the moment. So I feel like this room is what I want for that to become. Like I just want this to be my Nancy Meyers office, like light, airy, feminine, but just a really, really lovely space to be. So I think plan of action, now that I've had my coffee and I've had a little bit of energy, the yummy bean juice is giving me my energy, I am gonna get cracking with this room. I just want to get everything out of here that does not need to be in here. Things kind of like redistributed, like Alex's clothes I'm gonna put in his office for now just so that we can go through them, we can start unpacking them, we can start washing them and things like that, and they can go in the wardrobes beside me. And I really want to clear these shelves. I want basically this view behind me to be a completely different view. I want it to be calm, I want it to be tranquil. You're not going to recognize it by the time I have finished this clear out. So I'm going to stick some tunes on, try and get me in the mood, because as I said, I've been putting this off for not even weeks, for months at this point, and I just want to get it organized and sorted. So cue the time lapse and let's get going. My goodness me, it literally feels like we are moving house again. It feels like we're moving out. This has taken so long. I think it's been about an hour that I've been in this room just emptying it basically, and as much as it's been great having this as a dumping ground, I now feel like all the other rooms are starting to look so much messier, because that was the point of this room. It was like keeping the other rooms tidy, and now that I'm starting to distribute out, oh my goodness me, it literally feels like we are moving house again with this mess. But it is looking so much better behind me, I'm not gonna lie. I'm so warm. I definitely did not choose the correct day to do this on because it is boiling today. It's beautiful sunshine, and I actually think we're due a bit of rain this week, so maybe I should have waited for a rainy day to do this, but I wanted to just give myself a couple of hours. I've been going at it for a good hour already, and just kind of blitz it and like get it done, because I know it's been hanging over my head and I've been putting it off for such a long time. But yeah, it is looking so much clearer behind me, which I'm so happy with. So all we have now is Alex's clothes that are left in that Eve's storage. I've got, oh, goodness me, focus is not enjoying life. I've just got this little dehumidifier down there in the corner. We've got the mirror, and then the only thing that I wasn't able to clear from the shelves is my kind of like overflow beauty box, which I know is looking so messy at the moment. I need to actually go through some of the beauty bits in here and see what I can maybe clear through, because like I think I have about 3 bottles of the Pixie Glow Tonic, and if this one's been opened, that is probably not good anymore. But I've got some other bits like that I will use. I know I will get round to using, but they're currently just in the overflow state. In fact, I'm going to put this in my office because I do think I can make room for this in my dressing room, and I think it shouldn't live in here because I want this not to be anything to do with filming or styling or like any kind of like shooting, things like that. It's very much just a sit down office room, really calm space. But it just reminds me how lovely it is, like the sage green and the white. I just think is so lovely and calming. I love the fact that we've got this little desk here behind me, and the fitted wardrobes are so handy to have. I feel like it really opens up the room. It makes you realize like it is actually a really decent sized room. Like I'd say this is probably the size of like a single bedroom, which is amazing to have, and the fact that we've not been utilizing it up until this point is absolutely dreadful. But this is what I wanted, a much clearer background. I'm going to go put that in my office, and then this behind me is completely empty, and I could not be happier. This has taken so long already. I'm honestly so warm right now. I definitely need to open a window in here, but I could not be happier. I feel like it's like the project of this room is now officially begun. Like my secret project is officially underway. Alex has just come upstairs to see the bedlam that is unfolding outside of this room, and just gone, whoa, someone was busy whilst I was at the gym. I'm like, yeah, we are organising the sage room, which I love to have names in my rooms. Please let me know that I'm not the only person that does this, but I love to have like names with rooms, because otherwise I feel like it gets so confusing. If it's like, oh, well, the guest room, but like maybe which guest room, or like the office, but like whose office? So obviously, I mean, most of ours are pretty self-explanatory. We've got Alex's office, we've got our bedroom, we've got our dressing room. But I think this is going to be the sage room, because I want this to be more than just like my office. I want this to be a nice room that's like really calming and relaxing. Alex can utilise this room if ever he wants to. Like I just want it to be a really nice space to be in. So I've just been going through my little mood board to have a look at the kind of like plan of what we want to do with this room, and this is the kind of current situation, like this is the current idea that I would love to do. Can you see that okay? I feel like you can see that all right. So the Nancy Myers inspired office. Maybe I need to change the actual title of this to the sage room or the sage office. I don't know, what do you think sounds best with regards to how to make this room like pretty self-explanatory of what it is? But obviously I've got the gorgeous little sage wardrobes. I just found this image on John Lewis. I am someone who loves doing a mood board. Like it really helps me. I'm a very visual person, and it really helps me kind of visualize the overall vibe of a room, because sometimes I feel like it can be really easy to like add pieces in and be like, oh, I really love that desk, or like I really love this, but how does it actually work all together seamlessly? And this isn't necessarily exactly the same products that we're going to go for. These are just some images of like things I quite like the idea of, or I quite like the vibe or the aesthetic of. So it's not necessarily going to look exactly like this, but I just feel like it's a really easy way to kind of visualize the space, visualize the overall vibe that you're going for, and just kind of bring everything in a bit more cohesively. So we've got the sage wardrobes behind, which I wanted to kind of incorporate. And as you can see, I've been adding a few little pops of blue. So I found these are actually, if I can zoom in on them, William Morris prints, which I just found, I think they were on Desenio, which I could potentially put up, or I could potentially find something that's maybe a bit more vintage, something that's maybe a little bit more antique-y if I find from like a local market. I'm in no rush to get prints, but I just thought they were really lovely, and I've just paired them with something that's always been a dream of mine to own, a beautiful blue. Are these called ginger jars? The ones that usually have a lid, I think, are called ginger jars. Again, just found an image online of like a shelf that looks pretty similar actually to this shelf here. I feel like that's actually a really good match. That's what I always try to do if we've already got something in the space. I'll just Google search something that looks fairly similar. But yeah, I just Google searched a similar looking shelf. It already had this little eucalyptus thing on it in the image, but I just added this vase, and then I can always do maybe like photo frames or like some really lovely personal bits behind, which I think would be really nice. And then for the actual kind of like office situation, so it's basically just going to be one wall, which is quite officey. So I've tried to incorporate a little bit more blue here. So as you can see, I've got a couple of cushions, because I do want some soft furnishings in here. I think is really lovely. So I found this cushion, which is from Ochre, and it's got this beautiful trim on it, which is like a really lovely duck egg blue. One thing I would definitely say about blue and green is that sometimes blues and greens can really merge, and colours that say they're blue look more green. Like this is definitely sage green, but next to the cushion's almost coming up a bit more greeny, which I actually think is going to work really nicely. So this was from Ochre, and this was from, Oh, I can't remember where this was from, maybe the Cotswolds Company, but I found this online. I'll see if I can find them and link them down below if you like the exact ones that I'm linking. But as I said, I'm not necessarily going to use these exact things. It's more just kind of the vibe that we're going for. But yeah, I do want to put some, like a few soft furnishings in just to soften the room a little bit. But then with regards to the desk and the kind of office setup, I very much want it to be natural. Wooden tones I think would look absolutely beautiful. So I found this desk, which looks absolutely gorgeous. It's actually quite similar to the desk that I've got in my dressing room, which is quite funny, but I would say that one's maybe a little bit tall to be like a proper sit-down writing desk. That one's more of a kind of like makeup vanity desk, but it does look kind of similar to that, which is quite funny. It just goes to show that I know what I like and I like what I know. And yeah, and then I just found this little kind of desk chair situation, like office chair, which I don't know if I'm necessarily going to get one with wheels, if I'm necessarily going to get one similar to this, but I just quite liked the vibe of this. I thought it was very nice. Again, quite natural. I like the fact that it had both rattan and like a little bit of fabric on it, and then the wooden tones I think look beautiful. And then I've just added a little rug underneath, just a little jute rug, I believe that's called. And then I've also put some eucalyptus in there because I do want some like lovely flowers. You know what I'm like, I love my beautiful flowers, my foliage, and I always think that's a great way to soften a room as well. So this is just kind of the overall vibe that I've started mood boarding for this space, and what hopefully is going to be the overall aesthetic that this space ends up being. It's going to be, as I said, it might be a slow process. It probably won't be finished by the end of Everyday May, but I want to be really intentional with this room, and I'm super excited to see what we can kind of create from this space and just make it a really, really lovely room to be in, a lovely room to come and work, to take my calls, just to sit and be and get inspired for whenever it comes to like laptop stuff, because I feel like whenever it comes to laptop things, admin, emails, edits, I'm never inspired, and I just want to make sure that I can put myself in a room that will actually inspire me and will actually excite me to be in. So yeah, really happy with how this mood board has turned out, and hopefully we can create something that looks just like this in this space. I feel like my channel is just becoming a what is Alex cooking today channel. So what are we doing for lunch, my darling?
I'm just doing an omelette, or an Alex omelette, because my omelettes just aren't traditional omelettes because I'm too sloppy when it comes to turning them over.
What have you put in there? It's got some red stuff. I mean, we've done my homemade chives, which is very exciting.
Eggs, salt, pepper, smoked paprika, chives.
Oh, paprika, that's what the red is.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it looks amazing. And then we've also got, to add to the omelettes, we've got onions, peppers, and ham. Comment down below, what do you like to have in your omelette? I'd love to know, because I feel like some people are very specific. I love mushrooms, but Alex isn't a mushroom fan, so we just go for these veggies.
I just don't think they're as fun as everyone says they are.
They're not fun, guys.
They're not fun, guys.
We are really, though. I feel like ever since doing Everyday May, it's just shown how much you have utilised the Always pan. We have used it so much. We, very much a royal we. Alex has used it so much for lunch, breakfast, dinner. It's been amazing. So I'm really looking forward to this omelette, my love. Ooh, it's going in. I feel like this is the most satisfying part. Oh, it smells amazing, I must admit. I've just been called over to get a quick snap before he ruins it. Oh my god, Alex, it's looking amazing.
I know, that's why I wanted you to get a quick snap before I try and flip it out.
Go on, okay, the pressure's on. Let's flip. You can do it, I believe in you.
This is not an ordinary sized omelette because it's for both of us. I've done like extra eggs, so it's like the size of a pizza.
It's a mega omelette. Go on, you can do it, I believe in you. Flip, flip, flip. Oh. Go on, you can do it. Oh. I mean, you know what? That wasn't bad. That was not bad.
You better turn.
Yeah, but you kind of folded it up like they do at, you know, when you're at a fancy hotel, the omelette station for breakfast. He's like a professional chef.
If that was a normal sized omelette, that would have been a lot easier to flip.
Yeah. Do you know what? That's
like
what I love about the Always pan, actually. Look how easy that was to, it does not get sticky at all. I honestly am in disbelief of this pan. It's just been so fab. I wish you guys could smell how good this smells right now, because it's honestly incredible. I'm like salivating as I'm talking.
It's always incredible.
The Always pan, always incredible. Do you know what, Gorge? I don't know what you're on about. I think that's an amazing omelette that you've just made. I feel like,
to be fair,
you always undersell yourself whenever it comes to food.
The end result has turned out better than I thought, because it's usually so ripped apart and ruined. I just smash it up and turn it into scrambled eggs.
Although I'm still not over the fact that I'm having bread with your omelette. Can you guys let me know, would you have bread with it? Because for me, an omelette's just a by itself thing?
Yeah, you're what, 5 foot, 100
Nothing.
pounds? Yeah.
Well,
Whereas
all
I'm
I'm gonna
like
say.
6'3", little over 200.
You need your protein.
I need my fuel.
Well, all I can say is it smells incredible. I cannot wait to tuck in. Well, I can confirm that was absolutely 10 out of 10. I am stuffed now, but I've just had a new delivery arrive that I'm really, really excited about because I think this is going to be the perfect addition up in my office. And this is actually a really exciting new product from my faves at Unique Decor Florist. And Doina has released this because she is honestly, she's such a trailblazer in especially like the faux flower industry and that kind of like home decor industry, because she really wants to prove that like it doesn't have to be expensive to have flowers in your home, doesn't have to cost a huge amount of money to have like a beautiful arrangement. And so she has a new product which is just this beautiful little arrangement which is super affordable that you can shop on her Etsy site, and as you can see it literally comes like real flowers. So this would be such a lovely gift for someone if they've just moved house. Like it would be a really, really lovely housewarming gift, a birthday present or anything like that. I just feel like it feels so special, and I love the flowers that are in here. So we have eucalyptus, which as you saw was literally on my mood board. She's done a couple of different types of eucalyptus, which is why I feel like her faux flowers just look so much better than like so many other faux flowers on the market. They look so real because she uses different like materials and different kind of textures. So we've got 2 different types of eucalyptus here. We've got this one which is like a little bit lighter, it's a little bit kind of like taller and bigger, and then this one which is like a bit, I don't know, deeper and richer in tone, and it's actually like a bit thicker if you even touch it. And then we also have ranunculus in here, which, as you know, ranunculus are some of my favorite flowers. I absolutely adore ranunculus because you just get so much like depth and texture to them, and I feel like they make a great faux flower. So we've got a few ranunculus in here, and I just think this would be so perfect to have on the shelves behind me. I think that would be like literally what is gonna be the first piece of decor to go in that room and like really make it more of a space that I want to be in, and just like really make it more into a livable room, if that makes sense. I think this is going to be so perfect. So I'm going to have to go and see if I have a vase that this will go in, and we can create a little bit of an arrangement, and I think that will just be the perfect thing to go into that room. And don't forget, I still do have my discount code at Unique Decor Florist. If you use the code ELLIE20 you can shop 20% off her faux flowers. So I will leave a link to her Etsy store down below if you do want to use the discount code, if you do want to shop anything, because honestly her arrangements are just so beautiful, and I have utilized her to fill so many spaces in my home because she just creates such gorgeous arrangements. So I'm really excited to put this upstairs because I really do feel like this is going to be the perfect addition in that room. So I think I may have just found the perfect vase to style up with this arrangement. I think this is just going to work so beautifully. This is actually a vase that I got as a moving in gift when we moved into our old house, which honestly is just feels like a lifetime ago. It's so mad. But this was a lovely moving in gift, and I believe it's from M&S Home, but I don't know if it's still available anymore. But it's this really beautiful like stoneware vase. I don't know if you can hear the kind of texture to it. It's got so much like texture, like roughness to it, which I really love. It has this beautiful like blue, kind of bluey silvery speckling to it, which I think just looks absolutely gorgeous. It literally looks like someone's just got a paintbrush and like flicked it at the vase, and I just think it's like the perfect height. I think it's the perfect texture and the perfect color scheme to go in this room, so we can do a little bit of an arrangement. What I love about these flowers is because they come like this, you like none of the stems have been bent, like you have complete control over this arrangement. And actually I much prefer arranging faux flowers than I do real flowers because you just have so much more control over them. I've also just noticed I think these are actually little roses here. So we've got the ranunculus and we've also got little roses, which are just so gorgeous. We can have a lot of fun playing about with this because I just love flower arranging, and I love the fact that you can like bend faux flowers, you can like shape them however you want, and they can just, you can like manipulate them into the most beautiful arrangement. So I think that will be great. I also actually just brought up this, which I unboxed when did I unbox this? On Friday? It feels like I've had them for ages already, but I literally unboxed them the other day. These were actually supposed to be for outside, but I feel like this colour scheme is kind of what made me realise how perfect the blue and the green is going to go together in this room. So I thought actually maybe I could bring this up here and we could also use this to decorate, because even though these are meant to be outside, they can also be used indoors as well. And I just love the like wildness to them. I love how wonderful they are. So I thought they might be quite cute to add up here as well. I love this kind of milk jug, but you can literally just use whatever vases that you have, if you have anything in your kind of report, in your collection, you can style them up however you like. That's what I just love about Doina's flowers. So let's get styling. I'm so excited to create a really beautiful arrangement of this. I mean, a Sunday afternoon arranging flowers, what could be better? I cannot tell you how quick and easy that display was to make. How beautiful is that? It's wild, it's wonderful. I feel like the eucalyptus is what really does it for me. That's exactly what I wanted from this room. And the little pops of the ranunculus are just so beautiful. I don't know if these are roses or if they are just closed ranunculus. I'm not entirely sure, but they're from the same stem. So I love the fact that you've kind of got like the amalgamation of the different tones within the ranunculus and like the different florals, and then that kind of like splay of eucalyptus that is so beautiful. But I feel like it's just going to go in this space perfectly. So I'm thinking maybe this one on this top shelf and then the eucalyptus down here. What do we think? Oh my gosh, I could not be happier. Look at the difference behind me, literally from this morning to this afternoon. I mean, it's been a little bit of work, but I feel like we are really starting to get there with this room, and it's making me so happy. And these floral arrangements, I literally feel like they are made for this room. Like, they could not be any more perfect. Look at this. I feel like you see it better in the mirror because I can get a little bit further back with the mirror, but I love how that looks on the shelf up top. I just think it's so beautiful, and I love the like milk churn. I feel like it really adds that kind of like more rustic element, which is very Nancy Myers inspired. But this arrangement is just my favorite. I love how it looks. That is absolutely gorgeous. Just the wild and wonderfulness of the flowers and the eucalyptus just make so much difference. So you can see it so much better when it's behind me here. Oh my word, I honestly could not be happy. I feel like this room is really starting to come together now, and it's just going to get better from here on out. I feel like it's going to become such a beautiful space to be in. Calm, relaxing, inviting, and actually quite inspiring as well. As I said, I really want it to be an inspiring space to be in. So fingers crossed we're going to find the perfect furniture to get in here. We're going to find all of the pieces that are just going to make this room what I want it to be. But for now, I'm so happy with how it's looking. I feel like it's been a Sunday well spent. So I think I might actually just spend the rest of the evening out in the garden soaking up the last of the sunshine. So if we've not got nice weather coming up, I really want to make the most of the sun, because fingers crossed, spring is here to stay. Let's all manifest that it is here to stay. So I think I'm going to head out and spend the rest of the afternoon on the garden furniture, soaking up the sunshine, and just spending a lovely Sunday evening outdoors. So I hope you enjoyed seeing this little update, the new room. Another day of everyday May, and who knows, by the end of the month it might be looking even better. It might be even more kind of established. It might be even more styled. I'm so excited about getting this room organised and sorted and being able to finally show it to you. I feel like I've been keeping this room a secret for far too long, but finally I can show it, I can reveal it, and we can style it up together. So if you have any kind of places that you think would sell the kind of furniture that I'm looking for, do let me know, because you guys have great recommendations. And if you got to the end of this video, comment Sage down below in your comments, because I always love knowing who gets to the end, and you guys are doing an amazing job with leaving the word down below in your comments at the moment. Oh, I feel like we're almost halfway through Everyday May now. That's absolutely blowing my mind. It's gonna make me really sad the first morning I wake up and don't actually pick up my camera. I'm loving showing you all these updates around the house, picking up the camera every day and doing some daily vlogging. I've never done it for this long before, like as long as May is. 31 days I thought would be so much when I started, but I've just been enjoying it immensely, and I hope you guys have too. So on that note, I'm gonna head downstairs. I think I might make myself a lovely little cocktail and just enjoy an evening outdoors. So I will see you guys tomorrow for another day of Everyday May.